I've lived in my fair share of expensive cities: Paris, London, Hong Kong, and Singapore. And though I love living on the other side of the pond, there's something that always pulls me back to the United States. Although the United States isn't immune to cities that'll clean your wallet out. In fact, some of the world's most expensive cities are found in the good old US of A. Today, we're going to take a look at the most expensive cities in America. We'll look at the average cost of living, compare the houses you can buy, and decide whether they're worth living in altogether. Number 5. Washington, D.C. The nation's capital, home to a million museums, some white building whose name is escaping me, and really expensive homes. The median home price in Washington, D.C. is $556,000, compared to the United States median of $247,000. And what exactly does a home look like in Washington, D.C.? Well, for comparison, we'll look at homes that cost $500,000 in all the cities on our list. In D.C., you can find this 3-bedroom, 2-bath condo for $500,000. Not a house, a condo. The living room is rather small, or cozy, as a real estate agent would say, but it does have hardwood floors. The living room and kitchen are an open concept. Though the kitchen is a galley kitchen, it does have state-of-the-art appliances. Upstairs, there you'll find the 3 bedrooms, all of which are rather small. There is paid parking available, and the condo is pet-friendly, so you can get a furry friend to keep you company in the big city. And if you can't buy, well, renting isn't a whole lot better. A studio apartment will run you on average $1,424. Since that is the average, there are a lot that are more expensive, like this studio for rent for $1,475 a month, for example. I have to say, I remember my studio days back when I was starting my businesses, and I don't remember them too fondly. If a studio isn't quite your style, you can check out a 4-bedroom apartment, which will run you $2,709 a month on average. But housing isn't the only expensive thing in Washington, D.C. Groceries are 14% more expensive in D.C. than the United States average. A whole gallon of milk will run you about $3.63 a gallon. That all being said, D.C. does have its perks. The median household income in D.C. is $85,203, compared to the national average of $63,179. There are over 80 museums and monuments in D.C. that you can visit in your free time, meaning you'll rarely run out of fun, educational experiences in the city. Number 4. Boston, Massachusetts. Beantown, the city where the United States dumped tea in a harbor. The Red Sox broke their curse, and where people like to drink a lot. There you can take a duck tour in the harbor during the day, listen to some Boston accents along the way, and then head to one of the city's main Irish pubs at night. But if you want to do that, you might want to make sure you've got some money in the bank. The cost of living in Boston is 62% higher than the rest of the nation. Healthcare alone is 32% higher than the nation's average, with a standard doctor checkup running around $150. However, their groceries are the cheapest on the list, a mere 14% higher than the United States median. A gallon of milk will only run you about $3.26, though if I were you, I'd suggest buying some cocoa with your milk for those freezing Boston winters. But housing is where you'll take a real dent in your paycheck. Boston is one of the oldest cities in America, which means there can be a problem both finding and constructing modern housing. The median cost of a new home is $632,000, which is a bit hard to believe, especially because the median household income is around 10% of that. So, what kind of humble abode will $500,000 buy you in Boston? Well, this 1,417 square foot, 3-bedroom, 3-bath condo. Inside, you'll find a fairly modern kitchen where you can cook up some lobster rolls and baked beans, a living room with a fireplace that'll certainly come in handy, and 3 fairly small bedrooms. Rent also doesn't come easy in Boston, averaging $2,249 per month. In addition to the lack of housing, these prices are also driven up by the amount of people moving into the city. Since 2010, the city's population has increased by 10%. But there's a reason so many people are moving to good old Beantown. Like I said earlier, the town is full of bars and entertainment, as well as several historic monuments, museums, and prestigious universities. Number 3. Honolulu, Hawaii. When you think of cities, chances are you generally think about the high-rise buildings overlooking parks. But what about a tiny building overlooking the sparkling ocean? Well, if the second option sounds better to you, then number 3 on this list might be the city for you. Honolulu, Hawaii. That is, if you have a fat wallet. The cost of living in Honolulu is 89.7% higher than the nation's average, and there's really no mystery why. Hawaii is 2,500 miles away from the continental United States, and shipping goods there is no small task. Building materials, vehicles, and necessities like oil cost a fortune to shop to the island. The median cost of a home in Honolulu is $705,505, and the average income is $82,900. Most of the homes in Honolulu aren't new builds either, which is something to take into consideration. If that cost of living doesn't scare you too much, well, you can scoop up this house for $500,000. At only 666 square feet, this home is far below the average house size in the United States, but they did manage to squeeze 3 bedrooms and 1 bathroom into it. Here you can see the living room and kitchen, which is, well, cozy. The kitchen leaves a lot to be desired for the price, but I guess you're paying to be near the beach. The bedrooms are all very small, but you can choose to spend your time outside on your back patio, which is a perfect spot to stash your surfboards or do your laundry. Aside from your mortgage payments, it's important to factor in your utilities, which are 76% higher than the nation's average, and the highest expense for utilities on our list. Groceries are 38% more expensive than average, with a gallon of milk costing a startling $6.44. Number 2. San Francisco, California. The runner-up for the most expensive city in the United States is a city that knows how to party. Home of the Golden Gate Bridge, hippies, and the most absurd housing costs in the nation by a long shot. The median home price in San Francisco is $952,400, almost $1 million. The primary reason for this is the lack of housing in San Francisco. Because the city is built on a peninsula, there is only so much room for houses and apartments, and they ran out a long time ago. Housing is incredibly hard to come by, and the city's proximity to booming Silicon Valley drives the cost of living through the roof. So, what are you looking at buying if you have $500,000 to burn in San Francisco? How about this 1-bedroom, 1-bath apartment? It's 400 square feet. Although that 1 bedroom is a bit debatable, since the bedroom is actually located in a loft above the living space. The kitchen is exactly what you'd expect in a place like this, which basically means you'll be eating out a lot. The living room is certainly tiny, but I suppose in a city like San Fran, you won't have to be home often. Surprisingly, utilities are some of the cheapest on our list and come in at less than the national average. Part of this is due to the pleasant climate of San Francisco, which rarely gets too hot or too cold. Number 1. New York, New York. Surely you knew this city was coming, and you probably knew it was going to be at the top of this list. The most expensive city in the United States is the city where dreams are made, where rats feast on pizza in the streets, and where you can eat Pakistani Scandinavian fusion cuisine while looking at the Statue of Liberty. That's right. We're talking about New York. In the Big Apple, the cost of living is 154% higher than the national average. Groceries are 16% more expensive. Utilities are 50% more expensive. And transportation is 80% more expensive. Surprisingly, however, rent is cheaper than it is in San Francisco. The median cost of a house in the 5 boroughs is $652,000, which is actually less than San Fran and Honolulu. For $500,000, you could scoop up this 3-bedroom, 1-bath house in Brooklyn. That being said, the inside of the home does leave a bit to be desired, like solid walls, doors, and windows. But hey, fixer-uppers are in, right? The home has a large kitchen and 3 large bedrooms, though they do need quite a lot of repairs. On the upside, the home does come with some artwork. That all being said, there's a reason people move to New York. There are very few cities in the United States States that have so much diversity, history, opportunities, and great pizza as New York City. So, there you have it, the most expensive cities in the United States. What city do you live in, and do you think the cost is too expensive? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. And as always, I'm Mr. Luxury. Pip pip to doodly doo.
Hey there. Subscribe to my channel. And also press this bell icon.